Yo, what's up people, Shinigami here. So Scars Guitars commented, Shinigami, please talk about Small World. I need tips for my Avidity, lol. Small World is confusing and this is a cry for help. So I said, sure, stopped editing the video I was editing, and here we are, we're gonna talk about this card called Small World. So, what does Small World do? It's a rare that got bumped to a secret in the TCG, as Konami often does, in Burst of Destiny, a card that recently came out. So no matter what, if you play it or not, you want to know what this card does. So let's first read the card, then go through what it actually means. So you have to reveal a monster in your heart. Yes, in your heart, like the heart of the cards. Reveal one monster in your hand. Choose one monster from your deck that has exactly one of the same of the following things: type, attribute, level, attack or defense, and banish that revealed monster from your hand face down. Then, add from the deck to your hand one monster has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack or defense as the monster chosen from your deck. Banish the card chosen from your deck face down. You can only activate one Small World per turn. So, once again, you select a card in your hand. Choose a target to the deck that only matches one of these things. Banish the monster from your hand. I don't believe this does anything for cost. I don't think the banishing or anything is cost. Somebody needs to correct me, I don't know exact rules on this card. But yeah, you pick, for example, a dark monster that has all kinds of things. They pick a light monster that happens to be the same monster type, like the Poet Warriors. Okay. Now you repeat this process for another deck for another card you actually want to search. It takes a while to process what it exactly does. But one of the easiest ways to process how to get from one card to another is this tool Summer X Atlas actually sent to me a while ago. It's a Small World searcher. You say, this is the card I have in my hand. This is the card from my deck I want to search. You search and then you get a list of cards in your deck that can work as like the quote-unquote garnet. There's multiple applications for this. Recently a card I am currently trying to somehow make work is from a danger to Synchro Fusionist. And there's a lot of targets possible actually. Like you'll see, there's like many pages. You can just jump through the cards. If you want for some reason specifically dark targets, then you can just jump through here. Look at the dark targets. It's honestly not that complicated of a process. You just need to realize, don't do all the thinking for yourself. Just, if you're building a deck at least, use this to find the monsters to use in between. So you don't have to actually study the game and know every single card on top of your head. And yeah, just read the card, actually makes sense when you look at it. So, do I think this card is good? I don't expect any existing meta decks to play it. I expect mostly rogue decks to benefit from this. Assuming it indeed doesn't banish anything from cost, which seems to be the case. Because I don't see a semicolon usually anywhere. In fact, usually that's my marking for, hey, like, this is a cost, since it doesn't seem to be a cost. I think revealing a monster in your hand is like the cost. Yeah, probably is the case. So, yeah, it's just another way to search cards for decks that need it. Usually a deck that is good already has a lot of ways to search, and usually if a deck is part of the meta, they don't need another searcher. This card would be overkill for most decks. Keep in mind, you need to use this spell, and banish a card from your hand, so you're going -1 to search. In the current game of YGO, that's, well, not rally worded, but a lot of decks don't want to go -1 just to search. Like, it's something I criticized Speedroid heavily for new support for having to discard to even search. Yeah, I don't think it's great in a lot of decks. But, you know, if you want to do a turbo strategy, like you really want your Synchro Fusionist, you really want your Infernity Archfiend, for example, you know. Playing Infinities, you don't want your Tide of 3 axes. Okay, there's quite some monsters you can actually run. I mean, DD Lamia, for example. That's a reliable somewhat tuner, you know. You can run some of the Destiny heroes, perhaps. Let's look at which options there are. I mean, warrior, not zombie. You know, quite some Destiny heroes you can run. So now your Destiny Hero fusion is suddenly not dead in this deck. Even Armageddon Knight was there, you know? Dark Grepher is there. That might actually be a possible build. So yeah, this is the easiest way to use Small World. Just literally use the searcher that is a thing on GitHub. Yeah. So I hope that answers, like, you not getting Small World. Initially I thought the card was terrible because I didn't get how it worked. I didn't realize the fact to actually search the card. I just thought it banished 2 cards face down. So yeah, that's how Small World works. And yeah, I think it's a good card for certain decks, but it's not good in every deck. If you lack a way of searching a monster you desperately need for your strategy, Small World is one way to get it. Just make sure you don't live and die by that one card. Also, now that I think about it, how easy is it to get from, let's just say, from Resonator to Crimson? I think that should be pretty easy, right? Yeah, there's probably easy ways to do this. DD Lamia is an option already in Red Dragon Archfiend. So yeah, this card's a game changer for many decks that desperately need single monsters to function, or that hugely benefit from that single monster. Just keep in mind you're throwing a card away, card advantage to reach that monster, and you sometimes need to run somewhat specific monsters to be able to use the spell. But in exchange you're able to search almost any card in the game, and that's worth something. So, do I think this card is great? Yeah, it just depends on the deck. Another great starter that is usually hard to search is Rescue Cat. And there's still ways to do that. So yeah, don't sleep on Small World. I wouldn't expect a reprint until Megatons, but who knows. It's a good card. It is tricky to use, but it's good. And yeah, just bookmark this site, use it whenever you know, you want to find out how to go from a certain monster to another monster. It's a very hard card to use in deck building. If you aren't that experienced at deck building, ask a friend for help, or maybe don't try using Small World. It's a tough card to use well. And before I end the video, I want to give a highlight to this video, I guess, by Distant Coder. Just been watching it, it's a lot of fun. I know a lot of videos like this don't usually get a lot of traction, so give this video a view. I'm not sponsored, you didn't ask for this, I just figured, hey, it's a cool video, it's fun. House of Champs is in there, Vlad and DZ have quite a nice cast as well, some of the better content creators. So yeah, anyways, that's the video. Peace, have a beautiful day.
Makes me feel alive, my heart beats.